Hey guys, my name is DJ Bass-Leopard, and today I'm here with a very important special guest, Rezzx. Rezzx,
Hello.
how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Very well, thank you. So tell us, introduce yourself. Like, how did you come up with a DJ name Rezzx?
Oh, you got me there. So the Rezzx is pretty much like my last name, and I just used the 3 last letters, and then I just got the Rez, and then I put an X because it's extreme music. So yeah, I did that.
Oh, that's really cool.
That's pretty much it,
I actually
yeah.
didn't know whether if it was like your last name or like sometimes people would name their DJ names like the stage names like after the last name or like they would just have some type of meaning for it.
No. There's another DJ that's called Rez.
Rez?
So she's like different. I think she's
Drum and bass?
drum and bass, but
yeah.
very slow. And I was like, oh, well, she took that name, so I can just put like an X because, you know, up-tempo, it's like extreme music. So I just did that to make it different.
Very nice. So, Rezzx, tell us, where did you perform your first ever live set?
My first ever live set would probably be Massive. I played at, I think it was for Code Black. I was in the side room, so I played my first hardstyle set there.
How did you feel about playing your first set at Massive? Like, Massive's one of the best clubs in Sydney.
Oh my God, I was stressing out so much. I think I messed up the first 10 minutes because, you know, it's the first time performing at a hardstyle club and there's a lot of people there. And when I started playing, I was very stressed out. But I think after the 10 minutes, it was all fine and I had so much fun.
Honestly, when you play like your first set, especially at a nightclub, when you're playing in front of like a crowd that you would not expect, whether if it was like hundreds of people or less.
Yeah.
Were you like one of the first sets or did you play at a peak hour time?
I think so. Like the club opened at, it was like 9:30 or 10:30.
Yeah.
And then I played around 11:30. So it was all right. Like it wasn't as empty or full. So it was kind of like in the middle.
Yeah. I think it's really important, especially when you're about to play your first set. It's like, damn, how do I, deal with my anxiety and stress before I get up? Like, how do you manage your stress and anxiety like before you actually get up on stage and perform in front of a crowd?
Well, before I would rely on alcohol, which isn't that great, but I kind of wanted to do it as a much healthier option. So I had to kind of be okay being anxious when I'm about to perform. So now every time when I perform, of course you do feel stressed, you feel anxious and stuff, and you know your mouth gets dry, you get a bit like palms are sweaty, everything. I just kind of take that feeling and change it to like excitement, and you know I'm gonna be playing like the songs that I like and people's gonna like dance around to it. And then I think one of like the first 1 or 2 songs when I play, I get a bit more relaxed.
Yeah.
But I think it's just when you're about to get up on stage, that's the time frame that when you get a bit anxious and you're like, oh my God, what do I do? Like I forgot how to play, but no, it's okay. It's all fine. It's just like all up here and you just got to be, it's going to be fine. Yeah.
Tell us, what do you actually pack like in your backpack like when you actually go to your sets, like for your DJ gigs? Like for someone like me, I'll always make sure headphones, USB as priority, like a water bottle, like lip balm because my lips get dry, perfume, also a phone charger is also very important as well. So what do you actually bring with you?
Oh, pretty much the same as you. So the same thing. So like USBs, lip balm, pretty much that. The headphones as well. I've got like a couple of USBs too because sometimes like the decks can mess up. So it's better to have minimum 2 or like 3.
Yeah.
So you got to have that ready.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's pretty much it. My phone, like my wallet, all that stuff. So pretty good.
That's what I do the same as well. I like bring everything that I need, especially like 3 USBs. I will always make sure like I have each playlist on there. Otherwise, if you bring one USB, like you're screwed. If something doesn't, like sometimes technology fails, and that's why being prepped for your sets is extremely important.
Yeah, of course.
How often do you like prep for your set? Do you like prep your sets like a week before, or do you prep your sets like do you give yourself like maybe 4 weeks in advance before you perform on stage, or do you just prep as you go?
Now I can say I can prep pretty much like 4 days before the event.
Yeah.
At the beginning when I first started, it was like a month prior.
Yeah.
And that was a lot of stress because, you know, it's your first time performing at events and gigs, and it's just kind of, you don't know what's going to happen. But once you've already played at certain places and like events as well, you start to get the lingo.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, like I get it now. And, you know, if you've already prepped a set, it's best to have it like written down. And then you can be like, okay, I can use some of these songs and then add new songs to that.
Yeah.
And not make it sound the same all the time. So that it's much easier to do.
Yeah.
That's how I do it, yeah.
I think it's also really important in like reading the crowd's music as well. Like, you know, when you
course,
like, let's say if you're at a techno or a hardstyle club, you're like, yeah, I'm just going to play whatever I want. Like these people came for this genre. But it's like at the same time, you got to read the crowd's music. Otherwise, because it's like hardstyle, you know, you got up tempo, you got raw, you've got euphoric hardstyle. There's all different types. Like, for example, when I played at Massive, I was playing like kind of like euphoric hardstyle, and the crowd actually wasn't as interested. And I didn't really prep my playlist as well. I didn't have other options like raw style or up tempo to actually provide a really good set. So that was challenging. But sorry, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second.
That's okay.
How do you craft your sets like to get your made a mistake? Give me a second, sorry.
That's okay.
How do you craft your sets to keep your crowd energized and engaged?
You got me there. Sorry, my mind just went
Wait,
blank.
I'm gonna read that again. Actually,
went blank. I was like,
Sorry.
no.
So let me read that again. I made a mistake. So how do you craft your sets to keep your crowd like energized and engaged?
Well, usually what I do is that when I first start my set, I go very slow.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to start with something crazy because people get overwhelmed.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, I don't want this at the moment, and they would go somewhere else.
Yeah.
So I would always start slow, and then slowly throughout my set, I start to go a bit more faster. When I first started DJing, I didn't know that. So I would just like play really hard, fast music, and a lot of people would like it, but they would get tired. So I would see them like go sit down on a chair and they'd be fist pumping, but they won't dance.
Yeah.
So like the dance floor would be like empty, but there would be people around, but they would be sitting down. So I was just like, okay, I did too much. I got to give like breaks throughout my set. So I started to do that. And then, with the breaks that I had throughout my sets, I'd noticed that people stay on the dance floor. So I was like, okay, that's good. And now it's like the baseline is just to have it slow and then fast. But now it's just like I kind of mixture of up and down now. And I've noticed that people like it. So I was like, okay, I'll stay like that. And then,
Yeah. It's like you're giving people like a gym workout with
pretty much,
with the music that you're playing. If you're playing like a 150, 160 like BPM, it's like, wow, like that's really fast. Or even go harder, like 170, 180 BPM where it's like doof, doof, doof. Like, it's like, I remember when I actually went to your set, like I was with one of my friends and that was the first time I saw you perform live. And we're like, oh my God, it's like a workout here. Like we don't even need to go to the gym. Like it was like a workout. We're just like
it was a lot,
hack into it, muzzing. I was like, oh, it was so enjoyable to like watch your set live. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you.
It was like
Thank you,
so
appreciate
good.
it.
Sorry, give me 1 second. Can you share with us like a really enjoyable memory, like with like one of your sets or gigs? Like, did you like, let's say for example, when you played a show, like after when you finished, like did you have a lot of fans come up to you saying, hey, can I grab your Instagram because like you're a really good DJ, like I want to follow up your future shows? Like how, like what's like a really...
So like after the set or during like when I'm playing? Is that what you mean?
Oh, like both at the
okay.
same time. Yeah.
So I think I've got two performances. So one was at Massive when I played for Dimitri K's set.
Wow, Dimitri K.
Yeah, I know, he was my
that's
favorite.
So cool.
And I spoke to him before my set, and I told him like, oh, I'm playing last. And yeah, when I started playing, he was there, and I think it was just my last song that I played. He came up on stage, and we started dancing, and that was very like something I'm gonna like keep
as a memory,
like
memory.
For a long time, because
Yeah.
you're not able to do that, you know, if you go to a festival with them and stuff. And it was really cool to do that with him, and a lot of people like screaming and, you know, having fun, and that was great. And then the next event, like memorable time, was that I had to play at Harder Industries for Bloodlust, and Bloodlust was playing on the stage, and I had to play after him. And it's just being on the same stage as him and talking to him once he was like about to finish. It was crazy because it was a full house, and, you know, the anxiety was going up, and him about to finish and I was about to go on, and he turns around and he's like, you've got this. And I was just like, that's all I needed.
Wow,
that's all I needed.
That's all you needed to hear.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, after that I just did my first song, and then the anxiety went away, and then I just ended up doing my set, and it was great.
Especially when they have been performing like years, like 10, 20 years. And when they give you like advice, like before you get up on stage, it makes you feel good. Because think about it, like they were in the same shoes as you were. Like when they were starting out, they were making plenty of mistakes. I'm sure that I'm pretty sure now that they still get nervous, especially if they play at all these big international festivals, you know, around the world. And it's normal. So if they were in the same shoes as you, they'll be like, you know what, if I can do it, then you can do it. And that makes you feel more motivated, like, for your future shows.
Yeah.
But to be on the same lineup, especially with Dimitri K, like, massive DJ.
Yeah,
like,
I know. It's crazy.
It's really cool to, like, play at a club where they get all of these international acts where they actually belong more at, like, a music festival.
Yeah.
So just imagine, like, you know, the next day, like, you know, you play at Massive, you play at on that Friday night show, and then on the Saturday it could be like epic. You're like, wow, these DJs actually came just for the epic show.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh wow, I actually got to meet them before the actual big festival.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel, like meeting all of these international artists?
At the beginning, I would always see them like very high up.
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh my God, they're like superstars, celebrities, like, you know, something like golden, you know. And then when I started to talk to them and ask for like advice, I started to see them as the same level as us. They've just got a lot more experience than, you know, a beginner DJ, or, you know, you playing at a tiny club or something. But playing at Massive, it was a really good opportunity to meet these internationals.
Yeah.
And yeah, talking to them, it just kind of opened a lot of, how do I say this? Like, I lost the thing. I lost my trail of thought. Oh God. Okay, wait. Yeah, you think it's like it's so hard and stuff, but then once you start to talk to them about like, do you feel anxious when you first started? Like, what is your advice to, you know, get up to that point where you are now?
Yeah.
And then be like, no, just be yourself, you know, do this, do that. And you're like, oh, it's not that hard. Like, you just gotta believe in you.
Yeah.
And then you can do it. And that was pretty much it. And I got some advice from different artists, and I was like, you kind of overcomplicate things, and you're like, okay, like, oh no, I have to do this, I have to do that. But no, it's just kind of, it's very simple. Just be you, do your best. And that's pretty much it.
I think like a lot of DJs these days also overthink before when they play like a really big set, or if they think, oh no, like I'm going to make so many mistakes. And I feel like a lot of DJs, you know, like self-doubt themselves a lot. Like sometimes with me when I get up on stage, if I know I haven't prepped my set properly, I know that I'm probably not going to play a really good set. But practicing is what makes a massive difference. However, even if you practice so much, like even when you're about to like play in front of like a really big crowd, I think it's just that anxiety talk in your head saying, you know what, you're going to make mistakes, but it's just your mind, you know, basically playing tricks on you. And then sometimes you'll surprise yourself, and then like after when you play a set, Like the crowd would be like, wow, like you did a really good job. And then it's like sometimes DJs will say, yeah, I feel like I could have done better.
Yeah.
But it's like how the crowd sees you. So if you feel like you could have done better versus the crowd saying, oh, you actually did a really good job, then it's like, I feel like that's when we need to believe in ourselves more.
Yeah.
We all make mistakes as a DJ. Like no one is perfect. I will still make mistakes. I've been a DJ for nearly 7 years.
Yeah.
And I still make
Wow.
mistakes. Like you think about Tomorrowland DJs, for example, like they make so many mistakes. Like it doesn't matter how many years, like I'm sure Martin Garrix, all of these big room DJs
Yeah.
made mistakes even on those massive like main stages. And it's like it's completely normal. Like technology fails, like you can't do much. Has there ever been a time where when you were playing a set that the decks actually failed on you, like completely stopped, like froze? Has there ever been a time when something happened like that?
Yeah, there's been a couple of times it's happened. I accidentally pressed the pause button
a
couple of times.
That happens a lot.
Yeah,
I've done that a few times, yeah.
But I have noticed that like, how do I say that? Oh, I lost my trail of thought again. Pretty much make as many mistakes as you can.
Yeah.
Because before I would used to think I can't make a mistake when I'm playing. And when I make a mistake, I'm like, it's the end of the world. I can't do this anymore. And then I would ask my friends, they'd be like, oh, no, you're fine. I'm like, no, I made a mistake. Like, I can't do this. Or, you know, the BPM change is locked and I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
And I would ask the others, like artists, and be like, what did you do in this situation? Like, how did you fix that? And how can you do this? How can you do that?
Yeah.
And they would tell me, I'm like, okay, for next time, I'll do better. And when I would do the next time, I would make another mistake. And I'd be like, oh my God, like how many mistakes is happening? And then, yeah, like what you say, you kind of like stay in that bubble of thinking, I can't make a mistake.
Yeah.
And I think after when I started to do back-to-back with other people, I made a lot more mistakes. Than being by myself.
I feel like because you're not being your actual self when you're with someone else, because you're so used to being on your own, like, you know, prepping your own sets, like you're so used to your own music. As for when you do like a back-to-back with someone, I feel like the playlist isn't as organized because it's not really like planned properly. Like someone else could be different, saying, hey, I'm just going to go with the flow, versus someone that likes to prep their sets, which that can also stuff up when you play like live shows. That's why me, like, I know back-to-backs are like so much fun, but it's like if I got chosen to be with someone, like I would rather choose someone that can actually be the same as me, like, you know, prep their sets. Like for me, I would prep my sets like 4 weeks in advance, like at least like 4 or 3 weeks in advance. Depends on how many shows I play at.
Yeah.
But if I'm playing like one show on like that week, if I know I've got that one show coming up, I'll be like 3 or 4 weeks in advance, prep the playlist, practice.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Is there anything else like you would like to add? Like any advice you would like to give, you know, to anyone starting out in the music world?
To not be afraid. Again, make as many mistakes as you can. Don't think like you're not the only one that makes mistakes. Like even doing back-to-back, they're going to make mistakes as well. And seeing that right next to you when it's happening, everyone's the same. So that kind of gives that peace of like knowing that it's okay to make mistakes. And yeah, just be yourself, pretty much. Be yourself.
Yeah.
And it will be fine. Yeah.
All right, perfect. Well, thank you so much for that. I really appreciate
That's okay.
your time. The answers are spot on.
Do you want to ask one more question? Do you want to ask Taz what inspired her to get into DJing?
Yeah, what inspired you into becoming a DJ? Like, did you, like, you obviously did the DJ competition called Your Shot.
Yeah.
Tell us about your experience with the Your Shot.
Answer both questions. Answer what
Oh, okay.
inspired
So
you.
the first one, the inspiring one, is I grew up in a Spanish environment, so Colombian.
Oh, cool.
So I used to be a dancer. So I used to like grow up with a lot of music, which is very big in our culture. And, you know, going to like high school and stuff, I would listen to music every single day, like before and after school. And I would always think when I'm listening to music, oh, this song sounds pretty good with this, or if I could like mash it up with that.
Yeah.
And I'd always have these thoughts, but I never like really did any actions to it. And then when I enrolled for Your Shot in 2019, COVID hit. So it was just kind of like, like it didn't happen. And then COVID hit, and then the lockdowns happened, and then I ended up buying these little decks, but I just never used them because I just didn't know how to work it out.
Yeah.
And like I would look at YouTube videos and I'm like, this is great, but I just don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
So I just left it there, and then when everything started to open up, I enrolled again for Your Shot in 2022. And then I ended up getting in. And then that's where the journey just started.
Did you actually enjoy the Your Shot journey? Like for the DJ comp, like think about it, like you came in from not knowing how to DJ into becoming a DJ. Like how did you enjoy the journey like the whole way through?
Just the competition itself was good. It was very different because usually I would always spill everything. I would always tell everyone what I'm doing, and I'm like, look, this is what I'm doing. But this time around when I did it, I was very quiet. I just was very neutral with everything.
Yeah, of course.
And I played the clueless person in the competition, because there was a lot of people asking me like, oh, like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And I'm like, oh my God, they've got a lot more experience. They've bought the decks, they've done this. And there was a lot of, I can do this better. No, I can do this better. Yeah. And I was just quiet, and I just didn't tell anyone what was happening. And people would ask me, and I'd be like, I don't know. I don't have the decks. But in reality, I did buy the decks. I was like practicing every single day and for like an hour at night. And like our classes, like I would bombard the teacher pretty much with questions, and but I just kept it to myself, and that helped me a lot. And then once I had to play, that's when I like showed everyone, this is my set. This is the music that I like, and I hope you enjoy it.
I feel like when you're doing like the DJ comp, especially like Your Shot, I feel like everyone has to keep their own like secrets to themselves with how they're going to perform their set.
Yeah, of course.
Because I feel like what happens is it kind of spoils it, and then other people steal your ideas, and it's like, hang on, like it's your ideas. This is your own personal set that you're going to be performing live.
Yeah.
I remember someone came up to me to see like what music I was playing. I'm like, sure, I'll show you. And then I said to myself, why did I end up showing him my playlist?
Yeah,
like, I hope he doesn't play the same music that I do, because then they end up getting the ideas.
Yeah, it's like you've got to be smart in that area, because I kind of knew what was happening. And I remember there was this guy in group 2 that we had to do. He was asking at the meetings like, can I bring a videographer? Can I bring a photographer? Can I, do this amount of songs?
Be organized,
yeah. And he would be like, if I win, what would happen? Or, if I've sold 200 tickets, can I get more tickets? So he was upping himself so much that everyone was like, oh my God, he's definitely going to win. And he got the perfect time slot at the Your Shot thing. And me, I got the slot of literally at the beginning.
Yeah.
And I only sold like 7 tickets.
Oh, so you were like the first set?
Yeah, I was the first set. And I've only sold like 7 tickets, and they were just my friends.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm so upset I didn't sell any tickets at all. And then, when I played, there was only just my friends there.
Yeah.
And then my cousins came, and I was like, I feel content that they're here. And that's all that matters. And then when I started playing, the room just filled up with a lot of people, and I was like, I didn't expect this. My anxiety was coming up. And I saw 2 judges in my room, but apparently there was 7 judges in there. So I thought only 2 people, and I'm like, okay, that's fine, it's okay. But no, in reality there was a lot more people there. And then they just started to go up since then.
And then I saw you ended up winning Your Shot as well.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter, like, even though you didn't sell that many tickets, like, you still had the opportunity to play on that big stage.
Yeah.
Like, and then you actually won the competition. So it obviously shows that, you put in a lot of work into your set, and that's what matters as well. And the fact that you also had your friends there, like your true friends. That's what made your set more enjoyable as well. Is that
yeah.
right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It's much better to have like a support network
Yeah.
that's there, especially because like you've never DJ'd or performed anywhere, and it's like this competition, it's your first time, so it was good to have that network there.
Yeah.
And then even like having your parents at the competition too kind of gives you that like, okay, it's okay, like they're there, but there's like strangers in front of you, so you're like, it's okay, it's fine. Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, thank you so much for coming to the podcast.
That's okay.
It was so good to finally like have you on and talk to us about your experience. It was really inspiring to hear it.
Thank you.
And yeah, thank you so much.
No worries. Thank you
Rezzx.
as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
There's going to be some good bloopers in that
Oh
one.
my god.
No,
No, I was meant to
me
say
as well. Me.
I was meant to say clubs, but I